friends. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about what I'm doing for my low spend year this year. I kind of did this last year with really challenging myself to pare down what I'm spending and really be intentional with what I'm spending my money on. And I really want to do the same thing this year. I kind of want to have a little bit of a different focus though than I did last year. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about kind of my plan for this next year, how I'm going to be saving money, how I'm going to be more intentional with what I'm spending, because this last year I really realized if you don't have a budget and a purpose for your money, it's just going to go out the window. So I really want to be diligent about the blessings that I have, like my paycheck and the money that I do get. I want to have it be going towards my dream of what I really want in my life, what I really want my life to look like. And everything really changed when I realized, oh my goodness, I can have this dream. I can work for it. It just takes money and time and learning. And once I realized that, it made me so much more motivated to save my money and be intentional with what I'm spending. So I created a list of what I'm going to do for my low spend year this next year. The first thing that I will not be spending my money on is DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Uber. I don't really have to use Uber as much anymore because I'm not going to bars and doing a lot of drinking, and just being in a smaller city, I just don't really need Uber besides that. So since I cut alcohol out of my life last year, it has saved me a lot of money for that reason, just not using Uber. But also Uber Eats, DoorDash, delivery services, things like that, it really does add so much to your budget. I mean, I have sometimes had like a craving for ice cream, and I have ordered Dairy Queen that was literally like 5 minutes from my house on DoorDash. And it ends up being like a $10 small ice cream, which is absolutely ridiculous. And at the time you're just like, oh, it's just $10. But if you do that all the time, it really adds up. So once I started to realize like that is so ridiculous and so lazy, I know there's going to be situations where sometimes that makes sense, but in this season of my life, that's just not going to be a priority. So I want to set that aside for right now and not do any sort of delivery service or Uber Eats or delivery anything right now. Kind of like what I was mentioning before with alcohol and not spending money on Uber. This next year, I'm not going to be spending any money on alcohol either. I'm going to do another no year of no drinking, and I did this for the last year, and it has completely changed my health and how I feel and how I feel motivated and the friends that I hang around. It's really just changed my life for the better, but also it has saved me so much money. And it's so incredible how buying drinks, whether it's a weekend out with friends or out at dinner, if you buy like 2 Moscow Mules or something like that, or if I'm buying a bottle of wine to go with dinner to have friends over, things like that add up so quickly, especially when you're doing it multiple times a week or even multiple times a month. That adds up so fast. So cutting that out of my budget is going to be huge. It already has been for this last year, and once I saw the difference that made in not just my body and my spiritual life and my social life, but also in my bank account, it made me so much more motivated to continue to not have alcohol in my budget. Another thing is things like bottled water, Gatorade bottles. If I'm at a grocery store and if I buy a random electrolyte drink, something like that, those drinks end up adding up. They end up being pretty expensive, and a lot of times they're not good for you, even if it's like Gatorade or something like that. I think we think, oh, it's an electrolyte drink. And a lot of times it's not great for you, actually. If you look at the ingredients, if you look at the sugar content, and it's just not good for your body. And it's not good for the environment to have all the plastic bottles, and it also just is not good for your bank account. Fast food or takeout if it's for myself. So the reason why I say if it's for myself is because I have friends where if it's going out for their birthday, or if they say, Brittany, I really want to spend time with you and go out to dinner with you, just you and me, we can talk, we can get a little dressed up, and I really want to spend that time with you. I have friends where that is totally their love language, and I don't want to say, no, I can't, it's not on my budget. Like, and maybe there's a time for that, but that is something that I want to prioritize. I want to prioritize my friends and being able to be there for them if that's what they want. But if I can avoid that, if I can invite them over to dinner, or like cook them a meal at home, if I can do something different, if I can spend time with my friends in another way, then I'm going to opt for that instead. Because eating out, it's not just expensive, but also you end up eating things that you probably wouldn't have eaten, and you don't know the ingredients of things. Not that that's a huge deal, but I think in the scheme of things, it's just not something that I want to spend my money on. If it's for someone else, if it's for a special occasion, then I will. But if not, this year, that's just not a priority. The next thing is beauty treatments. So I used to do so many beauty treatments. And again, I don't think any of these things are bad or wrong. They're just not going to be a priority for this year of my life. There might be another year of my life in the future where I really do want to take time to spend working on my body and my skin and my hair, whatever it might be. And beauty treatments might be the way that I feel like I can achieve that. But during this season of my life, I really want to focus on having that not be a priority. Not just for the reason of saving money, but also for I want to get comfortable in my own skin. I want to feel like I don't have to have a bunch of makeup or fake eyelashes or lip injections or like things like that to feel beautiful. I've gotten all sorts of beauty treatments. I used to have eyelashes, I would get waxing, I would get laser hair removal, tanning, all sorts of stuff that was really expensive, that really added to my budget and also added to my time too. Like getting eyelash extensions or going in to go tanning or waxing or whatever, that takes up a lot of time also during your week and during your schedule, and that stuff really adds up. Getting fake nails, like getting manicure, pedicure, that stuff is so expensive because you're not only paying for the service, but you're also paying for the tip, you're paying for that time where I could be doing something that could actually be enriching my life, like learning a skill or working my way towards my dream. It's just a distraction from that during this season. So again, not something that I think is a bad thing, not something that maybe won't be a priority in the next season of my life, but right now I'm really trying to focus. I'm trying to focus on how can I get to my goal? How can I get to that dream that I feel like God has put in my heart? And I want to sacrifice. I want to work towards that. And if that means not getting my nails done or having a family member cut my hair or cut my own hair, then I am completely fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. That is something that I'm so willing to sacrifice. Another thing to kind of piggyback onto that is things like hair masks, face masks, lotions, things like that. I am not going to be spending money on this year. If it's a gift or if it's something that someone has sent me, something like that, then I'm obviously not spending money on it. So I'm totally fine with that. But besides that, I don't want to be spending my own money on lotions and hair masks and face masks, things like that. I want to put a hold on that. Even things like face wash and makeup remover, I haven't been buying that stuff for pretty much the last year. I've just been using grapeseed oil to wash my face, get off all my makeup, wipe it down. And I've also been using grapeseed oil for my moisturizer, and my skin has never been better. My skin is so much clearer than it used to be. I don't have as many blackheads. I don't have as much dryness in my skin. It has been a huge game changer, and it's been incredible just switching out store-bought things for just a straight natural product that is multi-purpose. That's been huge. Not just on, I think, the health of my skin and my body. It's not absorbing all those toxins that are in a lot of store-bought products, but also it is so much cheaper. It's so much cheaper just to buy a big thing of grapeseed oil and use it for your moisturizer and your face wash and your makeup remover. It's really amazing. And even things like, I have coconut oil, and that is such a multi-purpose product where I use that for cooking. I also use it for moisturizer. I also use it for a hair mask if I need it. Things like that are so multi-purpose and natural and so cheap. So cheap. So I'm gonna do my best to not spend on store-bought products and just stick to the natural stuff for now, and see how that goes for this next year as I'm really trying to crunch down and save my money. Cheap jewelry. I have pretty much only bought cheap jewelry in my life, like stuff from department stores, from Walmart, Target. Not that there's anything wrong with those places at all. Like, I've enjoyed having those pieces, but they just don't have the longevity and they don't last. I kind of had this wake up call this year of like, oh my goodness, I don't have anything to pass down to my grandkids, because my grandma gave me a ring that used to be hers, and the quality of it was really good, that it stood the test of time and it was still in amazing shape. And none of the jewelry that I have bought in the last 5 years would last that long, or even last a year. A lot of times they start to look tarnished and they make my skin green or something like that, or they irritate my piercings, and they just are not good quality products. I love stores like Walmart and Target for other things, but when it comes to jewelry, I really want to be picky about, okay, if I am going to spend my money on jewelry, what is something that's going to last 50 years? So I can hand something down to my daughter, so I can hand something down to my granddaughter. That just feels so much more rewarding to me. It has a story, and it has a meaning, it has sentimental value to it, where the stuff that I've been buying just doesn't. Tattoos and piercings. I definitely went through a phase where I think there was like 6 months or so where I got like 8 piercings and a tattoo. And I mean, it was fun for the time. It was really fun. It was a fun way of just expressing myself, but it is expensive, and I feel like I'm wanting to express myself in other ways now. I just don't feel the need necessarily to go get more piercings or tattoos right now. So I feel good about that, and I feel like I just don't want to spend my money on that. I even had like a really cool idea for a tattoo that I really liked that I might get someday, but it was just so expensive that, like, honestly, I would just rather spend my money on other things. I would rather spend my money on achieving my dream than on a tattoo that I'm probably gonna forget about. Another thing is coffee from coffee stands or coffee shops. The only time that I want to spend money on buying coffee out like that is if I get a gift card from someone. I would love to be able to spend that gift card. But besides that, I don't really want to be spending my money on things like that. A lot of times when I get coffee from coffee shops, I get really bad stomachache. So I don't end up usually enjoying it anyways. So I feel like it just makes sense for me to cut that out. Feminine products like tampons, pads, things like that that are specifically related to feminine period stuff, because I'm freaking tired of buying tampons every month and pads and stuff like that that I'm using once and throwing away, and it just kind of grosses me out a little bit. And I don't feel like it is as sanitary. I don't feel like it is as good for your body. I really want to take care of my body, and I don't really feel like tampons or pads, plastics, things like that up close and personal, I don't feel like it's healthy for your body. So this year I want to just commit to using either a Diva cup or some form of reusable feminine products, like even reusable pads or things like that that I use instead of throwaway tampons or pads that are plastic. And I've been doing that for the last probably 4 or 5 months or so, and it has gone well. It's gone amazingly well, actually. I don't really understand why everyone doesn't do it, but it's really gone well. I've loved it. So I think that's pretty much my list. I am super excited for this next year. I really want to focus on where my money is going and how I get to that dream and how I can make it happen. And I really feel like these steps that I'm taking are gonna make that happen. And it's so exciting, and it's so rewarding to be able to let go of those things that you don't need and stretch yourself and be weird and be different. And I know that not everyone is gonna understand this or want to live their life this way, but I'm so excited about it. So I think that's all for today's video. I hope that this was something that was motivating for you and encouraging for you. And if you are thinking of anything this next year that you're wanting to cut off your spend list, then please put in the comments below. I would love to see what you guys are doing for your no spend month or no spend year or whatever, or what you're doing to save money. I kind of nerd out about stuff like that, so I would love to hear it. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Bye.